Hey, it's Cornfu. This week I want to do something a little different. I went through my Instagram feed and picked out a friend at random, somebody who's been a loyal follower for a little bit, find out what they kind of are into based on what they post on their feed. This person, massive Tears for Fears fan. I decided to draw Roland Orzabal. Roland Orzabal and Orzabal. I think I said Orzabal. Orzabal. Anyway, he is the lead singer for Tears for Fears. His birthday is August 22nd, which is really weird because today is the 21st of August. I'm not a stalker, just one of those weird coincidences. But anyway, so I decided to draw this person, and then I'm going to illustrate it using wacom, cintiq, and Photoshop. Once I'm finished with it, if I'm happy with it, I'm going to go ahead and print this out, and then I'm going to mail it to this person, kind of like a little surprise. Hopefully that's not creepy. I don't know, it might be, but hopefully not. I didn't mean it to be. But anyway, let's jump into Photoshop. Oh wait, before we do that, let me make a disclaimer. I am not a portrait artist. I love drawing. Portraits are really difficult. You can have one little thing off and it just doesn't look like the person. In this example, you'll see me really struggle in the beginning. The sketch is brutal. Just really struggle with it, but that's okay. It's part of the process. I think it really fell together near the end. You can be the judge of that. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into Photoshop and get rocking on this sucker. Okay, here I'm basically looking at a photo reference to my left. I have two screens up, and I'm just kind of getting the general shape of it. I know there's another way to do that, and just that's actually to paint in giant blocks of color, which is I think the smarter way to do it. But right here I'm just kind of sketching it out, looking at my photo reference, trying to get the general sense. At this point, this doesn't look anything like Roland. So, and this is normally the part where I'm just trying to, I don't know, block it. Not really block it in because I'm using lines. I really should have blocked it in to get the general shapes. But these are things you learn as you're doing this. Okay, so now I'm throwing in the shadow. It's starting to look more like him as I put the dimensionality of it using shadows and just kind of blocking them in. Here I'm starting to realize I don't have the right shape for the eyes, and then I distract myself pretty easily by jumping in and starting to do the hair and the background. That's kind of my escape technique of like, all right, I'll come back to the face. Again, I'm throwing my lines. You can see the outlines on top of this. They are basically trying to make sure that I stay within the general shape of what I initially did. Again, trying to pull out the shapes with highlights and shadows. And at some point, yeah, like I said, I start to throw the details in there. That's kind of like a lazy man. It's like, hey, let's get out of this focus of trying to get the right shape. Highlights are probably the last thing you should do. And this is why I put the disclaimer in the beginning, but I'm not a portrait artist. So, okay, again, I think, yeah, I started adding color in, and you'll see that I bail out of that. He kind of looks like a zombie right now. And actually, right there, you can see that subtle jump from the color to the black and white. Like, I feel like I'm really starting to get the shape of his face properly. But the color was not working for me, so I just deleted it. I started blending the shadowing, so he starts to get kind of airbrushy looking, so I'm not a massive fan of that. So then I go back in and I add some paint strokes in there. I kind of wanted it to look like an oil painting, which I guess it does. Yeah, at this point I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, so now I'm going to add in some backgrounds, like gimmicks to really kind of make it look a little bit more designed. Throwing in some of the details of the shirt. So, and at one point, my daughter walks by and she goes, "Dad, his mouth looks like a zombie mouth." So I had changed his mouth, and you can see that transition when I went from the color face to the black and white face. And here, this is the final piece. Pretty happy with it. So, there you go. Hopefully you got a sense of kind of the struggle of trying to do this. Like I said, the best way to approach it is to block in the shapes. I say colors, I actually meant shapes. Just get the right tonal value and the structure of it. Painters will paint their shapes in first versus lines. Illustrators use lines, painters use shapes. So I know I would probably do it different next time. You also, like, this is sped up, so you don't see when I went from the color version to the black and white version. there was a subtle, well, not really subtle, shift in the face structure. That was me fighting with it, trying to get it to look like him, because I took a break, I stepped away, I came back, and I was like, wow, this does not look like this dude at all. So I had to really struggle and fight with it. I hope that you got something out of this, you enjoyed it. Go out and make some art, go paint, go do something that you're not comfortable with doing. Just get better at it, but also have fun while you're doing it. Thanks for watching. I'll have something up again next week.